Got your Bibles? Let's go. Psalm 126, 5 and 6. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Almost feel like singing that song, bring it in the sheaves, bring in the sheaves, we'll come rejoicing, bring it in the sheaves, but I'm not. I'm doing a message or just a thought this morning, and he came back. And he came back. Have you ever had this happen? You've been trying to reach a certain soul with the gospel, and somewhere along the line that person got very irate with you, got tired of you witnessing to them, and they made the threat. If that's the case, I will never be saved. I will never darken a church door. I have seen that before. I know in our zeal sometimes we may do get a little overbearing. Hopefully that's not the case. But this morning, have you ever had that happen? And that person you did or somebody else did, and that person says, I'm not coming to church ever again. I'm not going to ever get saved. I have before me an article deals with a man by the name of Will. This man was about 30 years old at the time. He had a friend who kept embarrassing him during revival meetings, coming to him with tears and begging him to be saved. This man named Will finally warned this guy, said, listen, this is what he spake, that if he ever spoke to him again, he not only would leave the meeting immediately, but he would never return. Well, I tell you what most of us would do at that point. We would never go back to that guy again. And I'm not going to say yay or nay to that. I'm just saying that's what most of us would do. A few nights later, during this meeting, I believe it was a revival, the man got such a great burden for this man Will once again that he went up to that man, Will, with tears in his eyes. He just telling how anxious he was for Will to be saved. This is back in the 1800s. This is a man down in Texas, a cowboy. He threw his hymn book down on the bench, grabbed this big Stetson hat, and angrily turned to his friend, said as he stomped out, I told you that if you did not leave me alone, I would leave and never darken the door of this church again. Perhaps it'll give you pleasure to remember that you've driven me from the house of God. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had that happen? Maybe it wasn't in church. Maybe it was somebody you witnessed to at the job, or maybe somebody you witnessed to on the streets, or maybe somebody you witnessed to in stores, or maybe somebody you witnessed to house to house. And they say, we'll never get saved because you went back when you talked to me when I told you never to do it again. Some of you probably feel guilty. Some of you probably feel intimidated. Some of you probably wondering, what next? Well, I like what Paul Harvey always said. And now for the rest of the story. I read it. Here was evidence, surely, that the well-meaning friend had done more harm than good through his efforts at personal work. But no, such was not the case. Upon arriving home before the others, Will went to bed, but could not sleep. After hours of tossing and turning upon the bed without relief, he eventually said to himself, "What a fool I am! The best friend I have in the world came to me because he loved me and wanted to see me saved and kept me out of hell. And I, like an ill-bred wretch, insulted him and drove him away. Now no one will speak to me again about my soul. It'll serve me right if I end up in hell." Finally, at 4:00 in the morning, Will fell on his knees beside his bed, confessed his sins, and cried out to God for mercy and salvation. Sweet peace instantly came into his heart. He found the rest he sought in Jesus Christ. When the janitor arrived at the church the next morning at 5:00 to open the doors for the sunrise prayer service, he found Will, the man who vowed only the night before he would never again return as long as he lived, sitting on the front steps waiting for others to come so he could tell them what had happened. Shortly thereafter, he felt called to preach. I tell you what, sometimes people may be turned off by our efforts. Sometimes people may hate us because of our efforts. And some may even have told you stuff like this man Will had told that guy. But guess what? Thanks to that man's faithful witness, Will got saved. And Will did become a preacher. Will Rice was his name. The father of the famous evangelist, or infamous evangelist, whichever you want to call him, Dr. John R. Rice, who wrote many books. This morning, maybe somebody's told you that. I remember overhearing a man's tale say once time, if that's the way it's going to be, then I don't want it. I think it was on either a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I forget which. It's been years. Over 40. Guess what happened to that man that following Saturday? Gave his life to the Lord. Who was that man? My dad. Let's keep on being faithful. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. What should I do if some man or woman has told you that? Tell you what the best thing you can do, pray. And keep praying. And not give up. We don't know who may be saved next. Who knows? That person that comes forward this Sunday at your church may have been the very one that told you this week they were never going to get saved because of your overzealousness or whatever the reason is. Don't give up hope. Keep praying. Keep believing. And keep hanging on to the promises of God. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. I wish I had the words to that song, bringing in the sheaves. That's how I would close it. But since I don't have the words before me, I think I'll stop there. Just keep on, keep it on. And don't give up. Who knows? That man, that woman, you who just told you they're never going to get saved, may be the one at the altar tonight in a revival. They may be the one at an altar tomorrow in a revival. They may be the first one to go forward Sunday morning or Sunday night. God bless you.